Okay. I think we're live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for stopping by. Just a little Friday afternoon, depending on where you're at. Hang out, a couple little stories, just a little chit chat. Force myself to try to get back into the rhythm. I still want to get on a bit earlier, but today's better than yesterday as far as timing. How you guys doing? A couple of stories I was looking at. There was one that's kind of crazy that's not even in this country. We're going to talk about that later. But then we're going to touch on Codi first. Some updates. Yo, Miss Kelly says, iCkEdMeL, I love your police chase. I miss it too. I feel like we need one for today. That'd be perfect. Chase. Friday chase feels good. Could happen. Maybe later, hopefully. Amazing. Let me set this up real quick. There we go. So, I'm gonna start with Codi Bigsby. Okay, the father of Codi Bigsby. His name is Corey. We covered this story multiple times on the channel. I'm actually gonna need to be here. This is Cody's still missing. 4-year-old at the time. Remember the father reported him missing, but apparently he had been missing for a way longer time than he said. He said he saw his son around 2 a.m. Monday, January 31st. When the father woke up around 9, he said Codi was gone. And we believe that story was BS. What's up? Good afternoon. Welcome. What's up, Lindsay, Jasmine, Cheeks, Oaks? I can't believe they still didn't find this kid, this baby. And they've been searching. These people, it was a whole, remember all the ruckus on the internet and at the courthouse, I think, and at the press conferences too. Seems like the story's kind of dead. We should look at the Facebook page. Clarissa, I did get your email. You need to join. I'm gonna add you for now, but please download Discord. If you could, if you guys could put the Discord link in there. Download Discord so you can see the rules and stuff. But I'm gonna check on the page too. What is it? Black Lives Matter 757. Yeah, BLM 757. All right. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do read this article, and then I'm gonna see if there's anything interesting in BLM's page. Are they still searching? I don't know. 21 hours ago. Did they have another press thing? Or is this old? Rhoda was young 21 hours ago.
So we pray that God will bless you. But moving forward, around that we have to cross across.
If our leadership inside of the house is childish,
I don't know what this is about. I'm gonna have them check this out though. I don't know if this has to do with Codi or not. What's up, Laura? Okay, so the father, this guy, indicted by a grand jury on 30 counts, but unrelated to his son's disappearance. So Codi Bigsby was reported missing by his father on January 31st. We just talked about that. Codi Bigsby was arrested for multiple child neglect charges that are not related to the boy's disappearance. According to the source close to the investigation, tells WTKR, the new charges in this indictment include 15 charges of child neglect for leaving the children home alone, which I think he admitted to this, right? If anybody remembers this story, I think they were questioning him, which that whole interrogation thing is kind of questionable now too, right? I think. And he admitted to like leaving to go, I don't know, purchase something or do something. And so I guess that's how they got him, I think. 4 more charges of alleged child abuse and 2 additional child neglect charges in connection to those child abuse charges. Also, 2 misdemeanor charges were added for failure to secure medical attention for an injured child. There's something that's pretty disturbing too. I saw this on Facebook last night, and it's coming up. The charges in this indictment are not related to Codi's disappearance. Court documents that were released Wednesday morning from Hampton Circuit Court show Corey left one or more of his young children home alone on 7 different occasions. According to the documents, they were left alone long enough for it to be considered reckless disregard for human life. Court documents show that he neglected to care for at least one of his 4 children on December 13th through the 15th, again on the 28th, on January 11th, and the 25th, and once more February 1st. Court documents say Bigsby committed an act against a child that was so gross, wanton, and culpable as to show a reckless disregard for human life. Court documents say Bigsby committed an act against a child that was so gross, wanton, and culpable as to show a reckless disregard for human life. What does that mean? What did he do? Charges on February 1st also include 2 misdemeanor charges for the failure to secure medical attention for an injured or battered child. Those charges came just 1 day after Corey reported his son, Codi, missing. Oh, I should check this. You guys remember this too? They got the water team out there that was searching for Codi. Really respectable group of people. Let's see if I can check real quick too if there's anything. Oh, thanks. Okay. Okay. Let me show these images real quick. July 5th. I think they're still searching. I'm going to play one video once we get through this article to see if they have anything to say about it. Because he just posted a video 18 hours ago. I don't know if it's related to Codi or not. And this is the picture image. 7/5/2022, grand jury. 7/22/22. Oh, these are the dates, I guess, coming up. Oh, the hearings. Okay. 7/5. That was the grand jury. And then 7/22, 7/29. Trial. So this could be interesting for sure. Let me see the other image. Letter from defendant. So it says here, I think we've been anticipating more charges coming. Water Team Inc. Executive Director, Founder Joe told WTKR, it really doesn't change anything for us. Sablinski and others with his volunteer search team have been searching for Codi from the start. Last week, their team spent, we're going to take a look at this. I'm going to show you this now. Last week, their team spent time on Eastern Shore searching or looking for any signs of Hampton 4-year-old. Water Team Inc. plans on heading back to Eastern Shore for the search next week. He is a 4-year-old, and regardless of what happened or where he may be or on condition he's in, he still needs to be brought home. Sablinski told the News he hopes Tuesday developments regarding Corey will put more focus back on Codi. A lot of people stopped following and stopped talking about Codi Bigsby. I think some people have given up hope, he said. My hope is that he comes back to the top and that we get people reacclimated to the fact that there is a 4-year-old boy missing out of Hampton, Virginia. During the last appearance in court, we learned that this case was going to the trial and that he was denied bond again for the 5th time. With these new charges, Corey could face up to 162 years in prison. Holy crap. Corey's lawyer, Amina, called the indictments absolute nonsense. It's nonsense, buffoonery. How dare you? This case is not a prosecution. It's a modern-day lynching. How dare you come for the father of the missing 4-year-old. Today, Hampton Commonsworth attorney announced a 30-count indictment against Corey. The law enforcement cover-up in this case is shocking, and the result is a desperate father sitting in jail while his son is missing. because the Commonwealth's attorney knows that Corey is innocent, he cannot indict Corey for the disappearance of Codi because he is innocent. They locked him up, deprived him of a lawyer, and tortured him in an effort to secure a confession. Now, they did mess up with that interrogation. Angie says, shut up, Elaine. Let me get the super chats real quick. Clarissa, thank you so much. Hey, Mel, what an honor. I really appreciate that email. That was beautiful. I was out last night, but I saw it. I thought it was really nice. I appreciate you riding with me, riding on the channel. The reason I don't look at the camera sometimes, guys, too, is because this shit is like elevated up here. So for me to look at the camera to make it look like I'm looking at you guys, I'm looking away from the screen. And so I'm managing a bunch of stuff. So I'm like mostly looking down, or straight actually, but it looks like down because the elevation, blah, blah, blah. But yo, hey, somebody's on Corey's side of the attorney. Emma, thank you for becoming or being a member for 6 months. Did the police help you pen Dizzy? Okay. So this attorney's saying it's a modern day lynching. Tortured him, beat him, deprived him of water, food, necessities, didn't let him use the bathroom. Forced in an effort. They didn't get a confession, I guess, but in an effort to secure a confession. They soon realized a combat veteran turned innocent father doesn't break, and he doesn't confess to a crime he didn't commit. When police realized Corey was innocent, they should have moved on to another potential suspects. Instead, law enforcement doubled down. Our criminal justice system's history is littered with cases like this. Racism, where the ends justice, what? I just fucked all that up. Where the ends justify the means, to arrogant police and prosecutors. As we've seen the case after case where corrupt police were able to obtain forced confessions, the state was wrong. The Commonwealth is likewise wrong here, and in this case, Codi Bigsby withstood their torture techniques. So they were doing torture techniques in that shit. Damn. And refused to confess to a crime he didn't commit to. So I guess because of his military training, he was able to withstand the torture. Like, what do you think they were doing in there? If they were doing torture techniques, what were they doing? Like waterboarding and shit? You think they were waterboarding Corey in there? What were they doing to him? Beating him? What happened to him? Okay. Today's indictments carry one clear message. Codi Bigsby had nothing to do with Codi's disappearance, and the Commonwealth's failure to make a case is an admission to this fact. So they saying y'all bullshitting around. Y'all don't even got nothing on Codi. Y'all just finding all this irrelevant shit just to hold him in. But I feel like the police know clearly that he had something to do with it, but they just don't have where Codi's at, I guess. And so they're just using whatever they can, I guess, to hold him. But they did mess up with that interrogation. I forgot the exact details. But something happened. Oh, did they? Okay, I see they're sending me a bunch of information. Complete with a timeline and some court docs. Okay. Let's see. Looks like it was a town hall meeting. Okay, do we know? I mean, I know it's like an hour and a half long, but that video that they talk about, I mean, we don't have an hour and a half to go through it unless we do it at the end or something, because there's other stories. Here's the court documents. All right, I'm gonna take a look at the link you sent me. Take a look. Oh, we got a video too. All right, good. I could take a break from reading. Well, let me finish this because we're at the end, and then I'll put the link up for the next part of this. So it says here, the indictments at hand are absolute nonsense. The allegations against Corey could be made against any busy and struggling parent, as it seems the Commonwealth's attorney must be reminded that not everyone has a disposable income with which to hire a daycare or an au pair. The hell is that? What's an au pair? Canceled. Au pair is a babysitter. Let's see. Au pair.
Au pair.
A foreign person, typically a woman, canceled, genderist, or whatever they call it, who helps with housework or childcare in exchange for a room and a board. Oh, fancy. Au pair. So what's the difference between nanny and au pair? Nannies and au pairs both help with childcare in a family. A nanny is a standard employee and is paid a salary. An au pair is an integrated into family life as temporary family member. That's trippy. It's crazy. How many women out there would take an au pair? Let's say you're married, you got a husband or a boyfriend or some shit, and it's like, all right, we're gonna hire an au pair. Would you let another lady like come in and just live with you guys and shit, or would you have a problem with the au pair? I think a lot of ladies would have a problem with the au pair because they're integrated. It's like, they're living inside. It's kind of weird, no? Anyway. So the Commonwealth is desperate to convict Corey of something, anything, because they know that Mr. Bigsby will be filing complex federal litigation against the city to hold them accountable for their horrific conduct in this case. This case is not a prosecution. It's a modern day lynching. Amina Mathini Walidro, Corey Bigsby lawyer. Oh, okay. So let's take this into account. Mathini Willard, that's the attorney's relative or husband, I guess, says the Bigsby family will hold a press conference 1 p.m. on Friday, July 15th. So let me put that in July 15th. We can watch that. So July 15th, we'll have to come back for that. Remind me because I won't remember. So let me look at this other. Well, let me show you. Let's do this first. See what the Water Ink guys have to say.
So it's July 7th. Just wanted to let y'all know that any of y'all that are here in the 757, we're going to be doing a fundraiser next Saturday, July 16th, up at Billsburg. It's a brewery right there before you go on to Jamestown Island. If you're interested, we do have tickets for sale. You could message the Facebook page, or you can call me direct. They're $20. That gets you your meal and a drink. Plus we make a couple dollars off of each ticket. Billsburg is going to donate $1 to us for every beer sale that day. DD 214, outstanding food. Plus he's a vet. He's going to be up there with us. They got their own food vendor up there. I don't know what the weather is going to be, but you know, it is what it is. We're in Virginia, so you know, chances are it's going to be hot. They do have a live band coming in, I think at 3.
Okay.
Until
they got a fundraiser coming.
I'm sorry, the Eastern Shore searches go.
Let me pull this one up. The Eastern Shore search.
July 6th. I don't know how many of y'all got to see the pieces on the media yesterday between Wavy and News Channel 3. Wavy, yeah, I'm glad they talked with Kay, and I'm glad Kay got the piece more than we did, because they definitely been searching more for Cody, especially wood searches, than we have. We haven't really been in the woods that much lately until the new recent case up on the Eastern Shore, which gives us some area up there to search where, you know, possibly Cody could be up there too. You know, nothing's out of play. He still hasn't been found. And then Zach from News Channel 3 reached out and talked with me yesterday. I certainly didn't, I don't really watch the news, so somebody else will have to tell me how they turned out, because like I said, that's not my deal. I'd stay away from the news. So some key things did transpire yesterday, at least as far as the Eastern Shore searches go. We will be out there next week. It looks like right now, 2 days next week, 1 day early in the week, and then 1 day to the back end of the week. Kevin and I on the team, we started working on putting some things together for just a small little rowboat to go into these small farm ponds, to where we do have some side sonar capability, and had to go out and get a trolling motor for the boat, because the trolling motors have been donated. Both of them are just not operational. So anyway, went and got that, started putting that all together today. We should be able to finalize that maybe Friday after our first aid CPR training on Saturday, or Friday, I'm sorry, getting everybody certified. But just wanted to keep you all up to date. And I will say, the additional charges may mean something to some folks, or may mean a lot to a lot of folks. To us, it doesn't matter. I keep saying, we're not law enforcement. That's their job. That's not our job. Our job is just to find them, should we take on the case. I got a new one that was sent over to me today. I think it's down in Chesapeake. I'm hoping that somebody can reach out to us to give me more information about that one. But supposedly a backpack and maybe some clothing items and a unidentifiable phone was left at the scene. So if somebody could reach out to us and give us some more information on that, it might be something I can look at further down the road. But right now, with the small team that we have, we're kind of one case at a time, or if they're in the same area, we can work multiple cases like we did early on in Cody's case. We were working 3 cases at the same time, so but they were all in Hampton. But anyway, just wanted to keep you all up to date, and be blessed. Let's find Cody.
This is a really good group of people. The Water Team Inc. They've been searching, as well as others, but they've been really good and on the case. So, I think, there was one more link, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. So right now we're just talking about Codi and Corey, some of the updates, the indictments. And this is really weird. One of the quotes from the documents, one of the court documents, they were left alone long enough for it to be considered reckless disregard of human life. And then the other one that was kind of weird, that I'm wondering what it was. It says court documents say Bigsby committed an act against a child that was so gross, wanton, and culpable as to show a reckless disregard for human life.
Against Codi Bigsby, the father of 4-year-old Codi Bigsby, who was reported missing now more than 5 months ago. News 3 reporter Penny Commit pouring through the new charges just handed down by a grand jury.
These court documents just released this morning out of Hampton Circuit Court show that Codi Bigsby left at least one or more of his children home alone on 7 different occasions. These papers say that they were left alone long enough for it to be considered a reckless disregard for human life. Codi Bigsby was indicted on 30 counts by a grand jury after being arrested for child neglect charges unrelated to Codi's disappearance. Court documents show Codi Bigsby neglected to care for at least one of his 4 children on December 13th through 15th, again on December 28th, on January 11th and 25th, then once more on February 1st. Documents say Bigsby committed an act against a child that was, quote, so gross, wanton, and culpable as to show a reckless disregard for human life. Charges from February 1st also include 2 misdemeanors for, quote, failure to secure medical attention for an injured or battered child. Those charges came just 1 day after Codi reported his son Codi missing. In a statement, Bigsby's attorney, Amina Matheny Willard, responded to these indictments, saying in part, quote, The indictments carry one clear message. Codi Bigsby had nothing to do with Cody's disappearance. The indictments at hand are absolute nonsense. Codi Bigsby could face up to 162 years in prison for these charges. We're also told that Codi Bigsby's family has scheduled a press conference for Friday, July 15th.
So Codi Bigsby, which is the father, sometimes it gets a little confusing because it's Codi. Cody's the 4-year-old. Corey is the father. So Corey's family, the father's family, is doing a press conference, I guess, on behalf, to speak on his behalf, which I think is going to be interesting. I want to see that. What are they going to say? What could they possibly have to say? So we're going to definitely come back and tune in for that. The charges, I thought I did read them already, but it's right here on the screen. 7 counts of child neglect and endangerment, 15 counts of child neglect related to leaving children alone. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. 2 direct counts of child abuse, 4 direct counts of child neglect related to child abuse charges, 2 misdemeanors for failing to seek medical attention for injured child. And they say that these are, again, unrelated to Codi. So, this is a really short one. And then we're going to move to the camping one, that the picture that's in the title, the thumbnail. And there's this other really, really, really weird one that I found. This guy that was raping men, drugging them and raping them, like a serial rapist. It's pretty wild. It's kind of crazy. The guy got caught. He's like, a little bit of footage on body cam. Kind of wild story. And he was purposely targeting straight guys. That was the whole thing to the story, because he felt that, I guess, they wouldn't report it. So men are being targeted too sometimes. But yeah, this is a recent story, and this is a mother of a 1-year-old who was found alone outside Southwest Houston apartment. This is like, I feel like it's becoming it's been a common occurrence. People just abandoning their kids. Let's just look at the video here. At least she didn't kill the kid, I guess, right? Like, shit. Like, these days, you got to take what you can get. At least the child's alive.
Abandoned on Willcrest is now in custody. Her son was found in just his diaper. He's only 1 year old, wandering around an apartment complex alone on Tuesday. We've been telling you about this story all week. ABC 13's Charlie.
Oh, and if you guys could help me out with the likes, please. I always forget to say that. It really helps out with the stream and the channel and the algorithm and all that stuff.
Charlie Etzity is live with the latest in this case. And Charlie, a couple of questions. Where did they find her, and why did she leave the baby?
Hey, Melanie, good afternoon to you. But yeah, you're exactly right. They did locate that mother. And to answer your first question, they actually found her in the same area where her 1-year-old son was found abandoned back on Tuesday. As for why she abandoned this baby, that is something that detectives are trying to figure out. But what we know is that Dana McGowan was arrested on 2 outstanding felony warrants, and she is now in custody here at the Harris County Jail. And concern over her whereabouts was growing since her child was found abandoned. Nobody had heard from her, and so that's why people were wondering where she was at and what happened. And so the situation where the baby was found abandoned was over at the Onyx Apartments over on Willcrest, and detectives with HPD had been trying for days to get in touch with Dana, and for a few hours yesterday they actually reported her missing. Well, we've learned that she does have warrants. One of them is for a DWI with a minor passenger. This happened back in January.
With the baby?
And so the child involved, just 6 months old, so it's very possible that child in that situation is the same one who was found abandoned. But that's the latest update we have. We're going to continue to monitor to see when she may be going before a judge. I'm going to toss it back.
It reminds me of, you guys remember we covered Olivia? Was it her name? Olivia something? That woman that threw the baby in the dumpster? That was crazy too. And remember, the interview with that lady was so crazy. If you've never seen the interview, we watched, it was a freaking, oh my God. I'm going to see if I can find a link real quick. I don't think we're going to watch it now, but I should find a link so I can put it in the description or something. Velia or something like that. Just see. Let me just type dumpster. Yeah, this shit was crazy. And by the way, speaking of interrogation, because that's what that was. It was an interrogation. And I'll put this link in the description So if you guys want to watch something you never seen before, this mother that threw the baby in the dumpster and the bullshit excuses that she makes the entire time while being interrogated, you should check that video out. Mother casually tosses baby in dumpster. But yeah, speaking of interrogations, we need to do that again. That was a lot of fun, right? We used to do that on the weekends, I think, sometimes. It's just kind of hard because I want to find source interrogation files, and I don't want to have issues with channels using the video. So, but I put it in the description. Thank you, Debbie. Hey, Debbie, I hope you're doing well today. Okay, so let's talk about this situation. Okay, there's not that much, but there's little if you scrounge for it. I don't know why they use these pictures. I'm hearing that the girl here has Down syndrome. She's 16. The mother supposedly has mental health issues. Don't we all, right? Like everybody else, I guess. So this is an Idaho story, and what stuck out to me kind of reminded me. I think this is police at the. Okay, so let me just start from the beginning. So Idaho police are searching for a mother and her teen daughter who have not been seen since the weekend, according to KTVB7. Donna Rowe, 52, and Gabrielle Rowe, 16, were last seen headed for a camping trip on June 30th. They were seen leaving in Dawn's light blue 2004 Toyota Sienna van with Idaho plates 2CVE942. Police said when the van was last seen driving on I-84 westbound in Fruitland. Fruitland just always makes me think of Michael Vaughn. So police said there is a cause for concern and asked for anybody with information to come forward. Donna is described as a white female who stands 5'10" tall and weighs 140 pounds. Gabrielle is described as a white female, 4'7", 80 pounds. Both mother and daughter have brown eyes. There's a little bit more information. Barely more, but there is one piece that talks about the condition, because there was a part that I read. Oh, here it is. So we just read that the vehicle was seen on westbound I-84 near Fruitland on 6/30/2022 before heading out for a camping trip. No destination was mentioned to friends or family. Camping is out of the ordinary or out of character for Donna. So this was a bizarre trip because they don't do camping. I thought I had read somewhere else too that they don't even have camping stuff to begin with. Somewhere in one of the little pages I saw, not little pages, but you know what I mean, canceled. I saw they say that. And so what the interesting thing was about this, True Crime Sisters posted as well a friend of Gabrielle, the Kylie Perry, friend of Gabby's sister, friend of Gabrielle's. So the original post from this friend, my friend Rebecca Rowe. Oh, this is her profile. What's her profile? Take a look at that too. My friend Rebecca Rowe, baby sister Gabby. Also, that's not the okay. Is considered missing. Gabby has Down syndrome, and her mother took her on a camping trip after suddenly quitting her job. So that's another weird, bad indicator, I think. And we covered some of this weird missing stuff too, because last night Casey's kind of interesting. Is it Casey Jones? I'm gonna post that video later. But she quits her job and was being investigated by CPS. Another thing. Below is the message Rebecca sent me just a few minutes ago with all the information she has so far, and I have her permission to make this post. We ask that you please be on the lookout. My heart goes out to her family. I'm praying for Gabby's safe return. My youngest sister is 17 years old. She has Down syndrome. She is mentally 6 or 7 years old. My mother has severe mental health issues. My mother was being investigated by CPS and decided to pack her stuff or pack herself and my sister for a camping trip after suddenly quitting her job. She did not bring their social security identification cards, or no, that's SSI. Isn't that supplemental security income? That's for people that have disabilities. I'm thinking social security card. So they didn't bring their SSI cards. She has no camping gear I'm aware of. She has made threats to hurt my sister. Oh shit. So they don't have no camping gear. She has made threats to hurt my sister and then herself in the past. And I'm just kind of wondering too, like, how long is it before? I mean, I don't know how long CPS was looking into them, the mother, but how long? before they do anything. No one has heard from them for a week. I believe my sister is in serious danger. We made a police report. Please be on the lookout for a light blue older Toyota. They may or may not be in Idaho. They left from Caldwell. Please, no nasty comments. If you're going to comment on my friend not posting it, please keep it to yourself. You all don't know what's been going on prior to this. It's probably a lot. A family here is missing their baby sister and grieving. That's what matters here. So they have these pictures here. Better pictures than what's being on the media right now, but there's another one too. This is the only other. Facebook has different pictures, and then this article has KT7. Has this picture here. And it has a picture of the vehicle as well. Another picture of them together. So, being investigated by CPS, threatening, I guess, family members allegedly, quits the job and disappears. Both of them have been gone for a week. And they don't have any leads at this time. Mel, I sent you some pics. Okay, let me take a look. Okay. No. Where? Oh, never mind. That's me. It's not you. All right. Okay. This is, I guess, another flyer. Same information. Mom looks like she got some serious problems. I mean, I guess they say, I wonder what kind of mental health problems they're saying she has. Let me see what else. Kind of weird. Something to keep an eye out. Hopefully this woman didn't do nothing horrible. Hopefully it's just they ran off. I don't know. Maybe trying to avoid CPS. And I wonder what exactly, why CPS was looking into her. Were people calling? Were neighbors calling? The family report stuff? What's the history? Let's see. Yeah, and another post here too, just kind of more, I guess, confirmation or more, I don't know, confirmation, but more plausibility, I guess. Apparently the mom was being investigated by CPS and took her daughter on a camping trip. People close to them say she didn't own camping equipment and said stuff in the past about harming her daughter and herself. Damn. So this is, yeah, that could be, she took matters in her own hands. Crazy. Okay. I was looking at the Reddit forums too on this. I think we're kind of past this story now, but just gonna browse the comments real quick. Let me double check before I open that. So somebody commented here and says, oh, that's the picture we're just looking at. She does look really skinny. I mean, I don't know. She's, how old is she again? 16. Yeah, she is really small for a 16-year-old. I mean, I guess, let me show you guys. The image we were just looking at. Daily says, why wait 1 week to report it? Yeah, this is from June 30th, yeah. And we're just kind of like finding out about this now. Or yesterday. 2 days ago. And so the poster says, interesting that camping trip is in quotes, and that the mom quit her job plus was being investigated by CPS. I really hope the mother didn't do anything to her daughter, but it's definitely a possibility. Look at how tiny Gabby is here. Even for a girl with Down syndrome, I'm concerned that this will be another case of CPS knew the child was being abused and could have prevented it before it was too late. Praying I'm wrong. There's got to be more to this. This person got canceled. Mom looks scary crazy. All right. So the next one. This story is kind of crazy. Es un poquito loquito. All right. The moment rapist was arrested by police in his pants after he drugged straight men at Chelsea's exclusive Raffles nightclub before sexually assaulting them, as detectives fear he could have targeted hundreds of victims. Men's being targets too. 35-year-old. Police believe there may be more victims yet to come forward. Case bears resemblance to crimes committed by Reinhard Signiga, the UK's most prolific rapist, who was convicted of 159 offenses in Manchester. Manchester, for my UK people out there. Oh, so there's a couple of videos on this that we can check out and watch. I think there's like at least 2 or 3. There's this one too. Look at this guy. Let's kind of start at the top here. Kick back, relax. I like covering stuff like this sometimes too. That's kind of like out of the norm. I did do like a live stream one time where I only talked about men that were being drugged by women, and I thought it was so interesting. Some of them here locally in Florida being robbed and drugged, and it's just pretty interesting to hear kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. This is the moment a half-dressed brazen rapist who drugged men before sexually assaulting them was told to put his trousers on before being arrested by police. Luiz Da Silva Neto, 35, was found guilty on Friday at Oxford Crown Court of using illegal substances believed to be GHB or GBL to sexually assault 2 men in November and December 2021. Neto's first target was a man who had visited his property in Middle Barton, Oxfordshire, before being spiked and sexually assaulted by the sex attacker. That GHB stuff is super strong. That stuff, like, I've never tried it. It's really dangerous. I've kind of, back in the day when I was partying, I've kind of had a curiosity for it, but you gotta like really watch your dose because you could pass out. You could be completely incapacitated. Pretty serious stuff. I don't know what GBL is. Let's see what GBL is real quick. GBL. Drug. Gamma butyrolactone is a chemical people use as a medicine. Be careful not to confuse with GBL. GBL despite being illegal and carrying serious safety concerns, people use GBL as a recreational drug for purposes such as sleep, sexual performance, and many others, but there's no scientific evidence to support these uses. That's GBL, but GHB, that's the more popular one that people use. I've heard of. A sedative. Somewhat the same thing. It's a depressant drug It slows down the messages traveling between the brain and the body. All right, let's keep moving on. So the first target was a man who had visited his property in Middle Barton, Oxfordshire, before being spiked and sexually assaulted by the sex attacker. His other victim was a married man who was on a night out with work colleagues in central London hotspot Raffles before he was drugged and driven back to Nettos, where he was raped. New video released by Thames Valley Police shows the moment a visibly confused Neto is instructed to put his trousers on. Put your pants back on, you freak, before he's arrested by police officers. I'm not wearing pants either. I got boxers on. Other clips released by the force show him being quizzed by cops and denying sexually assaulting one of his victims, who cannot be named for legal reasons, instead insisting he was asking for kisses and cuddles in bed. Kiss me. Love me. Check this shit out. Oh, Lord.
All right, Luis, if you listen to me, put your trousers on. So this.
Put the volume up for you guys.
By the time you're under arrest.
I want to see this guy's interrogation.
I was on the King's Road. I stopped to get some cash out, and I started talking to this guy as well. And he told me that he's been to the club, blah, blah. I was like, do you want to have a drink together or whatever? He was like, yeah. He's like, I'm married, but yeah. Then we decided to go have a drink. So the was coming here.
And this is cut. Yo, I'm going to put, please, if we can find this full thing, I want to see this guy. Lo quiero ver. I don't know if it's released or not. I did a quick search before jumping on live. I'm going to put this here real quick. Ooh. Damn, I just saw another picture. The girl with Down syndrome. Sorry, real quick, off topic. I was sent another picture. Yeah, I don't know. She doesn't look like in good condition, you know. So who knows why CPS was looking into them. All right. He was so just like matter of fact, like just nonchalant, just.
I don't know if this guy who paid him another drink, drugged him.
Thames Valley
He seemed absolutely fine when I met him. He was not drunk or drugged.
You mentioned that.
He was not He was awake. Until we both decided to stop and go to bed to get some rest, he was absolutely fine. Fine. Asking for kisses and, cuddles and stuff.
Okay.
Bro, this is crazy.
Look at the Chino Hills.
This is kind of crazy. I wish I could find the whole shebang, but I don't know if the UK is kind of like holding back.
Following a complex investigation.
Kind of loud. I got another video and then we'll continue with the article. This is straight from the police. The Popo. Oh, yeah, we just have a drink together. Yeah. Nothing. He was fine when I saw him.
Police have secured a conviction against a man. Following a complex investigation, Thames Valley Police have secured a conviction against a man called Luiz Inacio Da Silva Neto for drugging and sexually assaulting two men. He sexually assaulted his victims in a property in Middle Barton, a remote location in West Oxfordshire that doesn't have good transport links. From evidence we have recovered in the course of the investigation, we know that Da Silva Neto has approached other men on nights out. We're keeping an open mind as to the possibility that Da Silva Neto has committed offences against others.
He was not knocked out.
He was not knocked out.
until we both decided to stop and go to bed to get some rest. He was absolutely fine.
Therefore,
can we get this interrogation?
if you have information, please contact the police or one of our partners. The contact details are on the screen. We understand how difficult it is for victims of sexual offences to come forward, but we have dedicated officers who are specialised in investigating sexual offences. We will listen, investigate appropriately, and help victims to access any support services tailored to their individual needs. Please be reassured that the identity of any victims will be protected.
The Thames police, they also released some other, real quick. I think they released a victim statement. Oh God. Okay, so let's pivot. We're same story, but now let's talk about the one of the victims that night, because he released, I guess, a statement. Please read this heart-wrenching statement from one of the victims of Luiz Inacio Da Silva. How come I have a different name? Same guy? Let me do a quick check. I want to make sure we got the same shit. Yeah, this is the same thing. I don't know why it's spelled differently here. But yeah, we'll read it. Who was jailed today for 22 years for drugging and sexually assaulting 2 men. The first victim has been diagnosed with PTSD after being drugged and sexually assaulted by Silva Neto. So what they did was, I guess it's just not separated or whatever. Or something. I don't know. While the second victim, who was drugged and raped by Silva Neto, has been left in a state of stress, terror, and anxiety. Damn, bro. Let me do this. I'm going to download this quick. I'd rather be able to have control. And they really believe he's done this to many other people. All right. That night in November 2021, my life changed forever. As a person, I have changed and will never be the same again. I trusted him. I feel if he could do that to someone he knew, what could he do? What could he do to someone he didn't know or someone younger than me? The feeling of being drugged was horrendous and a feeling I will never forget as long as I live. I felt instantly like I wanted to sleep. I felt like I needed to lay down. I could barely stand on my feet. My speech wouldn't come out. Then I came to whilst he was doing what he did. That's crazy. I just couldn't even imagine. And this is something that will live with me for the rest of my life. An image I replay over and over in my head, in my mind. Being unable to move or speak, but to know that what was happening is a feeling I will never be able to forget or describe to anyone. Wow, dude. I think that's what that stuff does too. It's like you're kind of, I guess, like you're paralyzed, you kind of can't move, you're incapacitated. I guess you started coming to in the middle of it. Directly following what happened, I was unable to sleep, eat, or talk to anyone about what had happened. And I felt like I walked around in a trance for days. And it made me feel like I was losing my mind. I felt like what had happened to me was eating me up from the inside. It's the worst experience I've ever lived through or survived. Even now, 8 months later, I have been unable to tell my family or any of my friends about what happened. How can I tell them about this? What words would I use? So I live with this alone every day. Holy crap, yo. I'm heterosexual. I'm Catholic. This has had a huge effect on both of those parts of my life. I feel it has already, and it will affect future intimate relationships. I have always loved female company, but at the moment I feel unable to get into a relationship. Since this, I just don't feel able to socialize with people. I hope one day I will be able to, but at the moment I just can't cope with going out and being with people. And I'm not sure how I will be able to move forward with this part of my life. Sometimes I lose my vision and my hearing, and I feel the only thing that helps is laying in a cold bath of water to try to calm myself down. I have panic attacks and just struggle to cope with everything. I then can't sleep, which doesn't help my mental well-being. I've been diagnosed with PTSD. I regularly see a counselor and a psychologist. I still get really angry about what he did to me and how it's made me feel and forever changed me as a person. Bro, that's like such, I mean, to say it's forever changed me as a person. I can never again be the fun-loving person who loved to go out with friends. I don't know if I will truly fully ever trust people again. How can I when someone I knew could do something like that to me? In the eyes of the law, this may be over now, but for me, I will have to live with what he did to me forever, and nothing will change that. Holy shit. I was not expecting to run into that. Wow. Shit, man. That kind of like messed up my Jesus Christ.
Torture suspect tonight.
This is another story. I'm just going to play this real quick, but it's unrelated.
Police released this photo of 59-year-old Peter McGuire, arrested on Saturday for kidnapping, torture, rape, and false imprisonment, among other charges. Officials think McGuire may have other alleged victims and want to share his photo with the public to urge those potential victims to come forward. McGuire.
That's a whole different story. So yeah, this incident happened. The one we just read was from November. We read the story from the victim of November 2021. And then there's another person from December 2021. And this guy's now is just being found guilty, okay, in Oxford Crown Court. Yeah, it's got to take a lot to come forward and press charges. I can't imagine. Like this guy, he said he still hasn't told his family. I think that's what he said, right? Wow. His relationships are, you can't have relationships or intimacy, even friendships. Before he is arrested last December, brazen and very dangerous sex attacker Da Silva is pictured wearing a t-shirt and underwear as officers visited his West Barton, Oxon home. A visibly confused Silva Neto is instructed to put his trousers on before he is arrested by police officers. During police interview, the sex attacker denied sexually assaulting one of the victims, who cannot be named for legal reasons. So this is, okay, so we just read the victim's statement, and this is what happened to that person, I guess, November 10, 2021. The Silva Neto and his first victim shared shots of Jägermeister before the man fell asleep, waking up later to find himself completely naked. Upon leaving the property, the victim noticed what he described as a syringe on the side of the kitchen and became convinced he had been drugged, the court heard. The Silva Neto, who was described as a very dangerous man, had told the trial his victim was consenting and awake when the pair had an intimate contact. After the incident, the victim was diagnosed with PTSD, requires counseling and support to get sleep and socialize, and reports losing vision and hearing. Speaking to Sky News, the Silva Neto was found guilty. He said, "This is my duty to come forward because these types of people are dangerous to society. Basically, he drugged me and used me. I don't want to go into details. I don't want to memorize it again. I don't want to relive it. For me, this is the worst experience I have ever survived or lived through. So, I mean, it's really big that guy came forward to put this guy away. And I guess the guy's just getting 22 years. That's what they said. Shelly. Hey, Shelly. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for supporting the channel for as long as you have. Thank you for being a member for 10 months. And the super chat I just saw. Shelly says, my best friend was hot shot with GHB and OD'd. Wow. I see you looking, Andrews. Hey, thank you for the membership. 13 months. Mel, you rock. Thank you. And love letters from Hades. Lady in the left on the thumbnail has Sampaku eyes. What's Sampaku? Like Japanese thing. Okay, so now let's get to the second attack. Okay. So Da Silva Neto's second attack occurred exactly a month later at the exclusive Raffles nightclub, where his victim later reported feeling strange and having a cup of dark brown liquid held to his lips before waking up naked in an unfamiliar location. I always wonder too, like, I mean, I guess when these people drug people in these places, how do they get them out of there? Are people just maybe thinking, oh, maybe it's a friend of the person and the person's incapacitated and so they're just helping out their friend? Maybe that's what's going on. Like, how do you move an entire body like that? Or is the person so out of it that after they're drugged, the person's like, oh, come on, and you don't know what's going on and you don't remember either, but you're just going along because you don't know what's going on. Maybe that's part of it too. The Silva Neto said he was high and looking for drugs that night, but claimed the married man did not seem intoxicated when they met, and he denied spiking the man's drink. Police believe though Silva Neto targeted heterosexual males because he thought they would be less likely to report him. Okay, so he's purposely targeting heterosexual guys. And officers also fear that there could be dozens more victims who were attacked by the polished sex attacker whose methods bear chilling resemblance to this other guy, Manchester-based Reinhard Siniga. Oh, let me be careful. Hold on. What did I just say? My bad. That's what it says. I don't know. Thames Valley Police urge anybody who thinks they may be a victim of sexual assault by the Silva to come forward. Another picture of him. I think this video was related to. Let's see if we can get some.
Following a complex investigation.
Oh, we just saw this.
Oxfordshire, the victim.
Yeah, we just saw that. So let's take a look at this too. Senior investigating officer James Holden White said, when we look at the method of offending in this case, it seems very brazen. It seems very polished and quite accomplished. He knows what he's doing. Yet we're continuing to investigate his activities. I cannot go into any of that, but what I will say is that if you think you are a victim, come forward. The police detail how Da Silva visited several pub toilets and approached men to test their sobriety. So he's testing to see if you're sober or not in order to identify victims before drugging them. They said that the case has similarities to the crimes committed by this other guy in Manchester. Sanaga was jailed in January 2020 for drugging and raping more than 40 men. Wow. With his trial hearing that he targeted people by posing as a good Samaritan before lacing his victims' drinks with drugs such as GHB to render them unconscious. It is believed that he has more victims, yet to be formally identified, as Greater Manchester Police received more than 155 reports following a public appeal after his conviction. Mr. Holden said, I'm concerned that this could be similar to the Reinhard case in Manchester, which was also widely reported, where a man did something very similar. So this guy would target people already vulnerable and drunk, being a good Samaritan, and offer them to get them some food or call them a taxi or get them a drink. Tanaga then got them up into his flat, which is very accessible to where he was, and was then able to administer a substance and go on to sexually offend against them. Bro, this is crazy, man. They coming for guys too. Yeah. So Mr. Holden has urged people in nightclubs and bars to remain vigilant, stay close to friends, and use nighttime services such as social workers and police officers if they feel in danger. I cannot stress how unusual and rare these kinds of offenses are. I really do not want to cause any alarm. Yesterday, Da Silva collapsed his head in his hands and began to cry silently as he was found guilty of drugging and sexually assaulting and raping a married man who had been on a night out with colleagues. The jury took 13 hours and 39 minutes to find Da Silva guilty of the assault in December 2021. They found Da Silva guilty of administering a substance with intent at a property of Oxfordshire, causing a person to engage in sexual activity without consent and rape. Okay. That's it. I do have. Yeah, I haven't really watched this. I was kind of curious. It's the same thing, I think.
Captured on police body-worn video the moment detectives arrest a serial sex offender.
Put your pictures on. So at this point in time, you're under arrest.
Luiz Da Silva Neto drugged his male victims before raping or sexually assaulting them. 2 men reported their attacks to authorities, but police fear there may be many more of his victims still out there. Da Silva Neto would often look for men at night, especially those that had too much to drink. He filmed on his mobile phone as he went hunting them in public toilets. Da Silva Neto drugged both his victims in separate incidents inside this exclusive cottage here in the Oxfordshire village of Middle Barton. In one incident, he picked up his victim outside a nightclub in West London before driving him 73 miles here and raping him. That victim told police he was picked up outside this nightclub in Chelsea. He'd been looking for a taxi. All he could remember was drinking a small amount of liquid inside Da Silva Neto's car. Then waking up in the cottage sometime later, having been raped. In interviews in police custody, Da Silva Neto insisted the interaction had been fully consensual.
I was on the King's Road. I stopped to get some cash out, and I started talking to this guy as well. And he told me that he's been to the club, blah, blah. I was like, should you want to have a drink together or whatever? He was like, yeah. He's like, I'm married, but yeah.
Da Silva Neto's other victim knew his attacker when he says his trust was betrayed in the most appalling manner.
Talking, I think, yeah.
Basically, he drugged me and he used me. I don't want to go into details. I don't want to memorize it again. I don't want to relive it. For me, this is the worst experience I've ever survived or lived through. I'm heterosexual, I'm Catholic, I'm more religious, and something that I just need to digest.
Police say Da Silva Neto appears to have very deliberately targeted straight men, believing perhaps that they'd be too embarrassed to report their attack.
It is entirely possible that there are other offences out there and other victims who have not as yet been identified or identified themselves to us. So what I really want to do is encourage victims to come forward and have the confidence to do that. You know, a conviction of somebody for offences like this is quite often the platform from which other people will then have that confidence and feel empowered to come forward and feel safer to do so.
Authorities believe it's likely Da Silva Neto used the drug GHB. Only small amounts can render a victim unconscious. The gay serial killer Stephen Port used GHB on his 4 victims, young men who he killed with high doses of the drug, before dumping their bodies in this graveyard near his home in Barking in East London. GHB was also the weapon of choice for serial rapist Reynard Sanaga, a Manchester nurse who's believed to have raped more than 200 young men since 2005.
A nurse? Yeah, what's going on
Serial
out there?
rapist. GHB was also the weapon of choice for serial rape.
That guy looks like a weirdo too. Look how he's skipping along and shit.
London. GHB was also the weapon of choice for serial rapist
I guess he's just skipping normally.
Reynard Sinaga, a Manchester nurse.
Now he's up to no good. He's up to doing something.
Who's believed to have raped more than 200 young men since 2005. Police say these events are thankfully very rare. Luiz Da Silva Neto has now been convicted for the crimes he committed. Police are appealing for anyone else who believes they may have been drugged and assaulted by him.
Oh, that's the guy. Reinhard or whatever.
To come forward. Mark White, GB News.
So this guy got sentenced to 22 years. He'll be out. I wonder if he can get out sooner. 22 years.
And he told me that he's been to the club, blah, blah.
I was able to find this one too. I mean, we kind of already got the details from the 2021 incident, but this one has a little bit more. I didn't read it, but I saw that this was a little different. It says, man called wife crying and screaming after waking up from drug rape. A married man who was drugged and raped by a serial predator on the night out was told how he woke up and called his wife screaming, crying. The victim was trying to find a taxi after enjoying a night out with colleagues. Oh yeah, we did get this. Raffles nightclub. When he was approached by Luis, he recalled being forced to drink a small cup of dark brown liquid, but has no further memories of the night before waking up miles from home in a strange house with a man I have never met. Later, it would emerge that Da Silva had driven him to a property in a village and did what he did. A month later, another man had woken up in the same property to find the 36-year-old performing oral on him while he was unable to move or speak. Jesus. He had said here that the victim has said the sense of panic I felt that morning is indescribable, and I have never been so terrified in my life. Calling my wife crying and screaming down the phone is a memory she can never forget and has left her traumatized. The weeks that ensued were incredibly difficult for myself and all those close to me. Sleepless nights and severe anxiety requiring me and my wife to take time off of work. Whilst I have little memory of that night, I unfortunately had to hear of the awful things this man did to me against my will. It is something I will have to live with for the rest of my life and will cross my mind every day. He was unable to read his statement in court due to the stress, terror, and anxiety of reliving the experience. The other victim said, this is something that will live with me for the rest of my life, an image that will play over and over in my mind. And we already read this. So, I don't know, man. Horrible stuff. Let me see real quick. I think that was it. I had this other story, but there's just like no information on it. Yeah, there's not much information on it, so I'll leave that alone. Jesus Christ. Oh, what I was going to look up real quick. How long we been here? Hour and 14. I think we did pretty good. This is the guy they're saying that, like, oh Lord, Britain's worst serial rapist. I think I've had enough of kind of like this topic, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to play the video. But this is the guy that kept being referenced. Reinhard Sinaga, 36-year-old, preyed on at least 195 young men. All right, so for the, I don't know, guys out there too, you got to be careful. And another 30 men have now come forward since he was jailed. And he used the same thing, GHB. 36-year-old.
In the last 12, 18 hours since this case was first reported and Sanaga's picture was out there for the first time, have you had any contact from men who think they might have been a victim of his?
Yeah, very much so.
No,
so
Lindsay,
I know that I was speaking to some of my colleagues over at the police incident room.
I'll say that.
And the police incident room has had both contacts to the police and also to the support workers that are there.
Do you know how many calls?
I think last time when I spoke to them, there was round about 30 calls yesterday.
Wow.
The phone lines became...
Is there really a car chase about to happen? If there's a car chase, we're about to be done with this and we'll restart. I had enough of this horrible shit. There's the guy right here, man. 200 people were prey on victims aged 18 to 36. Hey, I'm here. Hey. I heard Pearl. Yeah. Where's he going? She's just skipping along. What's wrong with his ass? This guy. Hey, how are you? Are you okay? You good? I have some of this. Predator. It's on the lurking and shit. Isn't that weird, right? Like, the hell? Weird shit. Chilling moments. Ruthless killer spotted on CCTV. Stalking his victim. All right, I guess we're done. If a chase does happen, man, I'll be on here. I haven't heard anything about a chase, but if it does happen, I'll come back on. Let's see. Bunch of notifications. Let me just double check and see if I hear anything about it. No, I don't see anything. New court filing today. Okay. All right, I guess that's it for now. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate you being here. If you wouldn't mind hitting like, just wanted to kind of check in, touch on a couple of stories. Corey, I'd like to revisit. I want to see what the family is going to have to say. I'm sure they're probably not going to take questions, but next Friday they're doing that. And yeah, I guess that's it. Hit like on the way out. I'm going to try to timestamp this video too. So people that are coming and rewatching, they can click whatever part of the live stream they want. All right. Peace. Take care of yourselves and just be careful out there. All right. Bye. Adios.